Shift4 is a recent add to the YouTube portfolio, and already this year, this stock has fallen by over 20% twice. So let's talk about what exactly is going on with this company and some potential price targets for where this stock could trade in a year from now. But of course, what exactly does Shift4 do? Well, they are a payment processor covering anything from in-person to online payments across a wide range of different industries, whether it's hospitality, retail, or even e-commerce. The first time I really noticed this company was actually last year when Michael Burry purchased a couple of different tranches into the stock back in Q2 as well as Q3 of 2024. However, in Q4 of 2024, he ended up selling out of all of his position. And if we look back at 2024, he likely built out his position between $60 and $80 per share, and then sold out at a nice profit sometime in Q4 of around $100 per share. And what we are seeing right now is a nice pullback from Shift4 into that $60 to $80 range. But I always say don't buy a stock just because someone else did, and that is very important, especially with Michael Burry, because he trades in and out of stocks all the time. And you also have to understand what has developed between that time and now, because again, we have seen Shift4 fall by over 20% twice now on the back of a couple of earnings announcements. And the big thing going on with Shift4 is just general uncertainty around where the company is headed. They did make a very large acquisition back in February of Global Blue for around $1.5 billion. And overall, this looks like a very positive thing for the business moving forward. But they also had some bad news. They missed top line expectations, and their CEO announced that he would be departing the company to join NASA. Jared Isaacman is the CEO and founder of Shift4. However, he's been caught up into a very similar situation to what we have seen with Elon Musk, where Trump has pulled him into a number of different positions within the government, and this has really distracted him from what is going on with Shift4. And this has been an on and off again relationship with Donald Trump, where at one point he was going to lead NASA, and then that fell apart, and now those talks are starting to pick up again. And again, the situation is very similar to what we have seen with Elon. And during the time period where Elon was very involved with Trump, we saw Tesla's stock price fall significantly. It fell by over 50% in a matter of just a few months. And that's exactly what we are seeing here with Shift4 as well. The stock fell by over 40% in just a couple of months back in February to April of this year. And a lot of that has to do with the trade war, but also a lot of that has to do with just general uncertainty around where this company is headed. When a founder ends up leaving a company or stepping aside and letting someone else be the CEO for a period of time, that often can end up with the stock moving in the downward direction for at least a short period of time while the new leader comes in and really establishes a new way of working. And that's kind of what we are seeing here with Shift4, but I think ultimately this is going to be a distraction that will inevitably end up going away, and Jared will end up coming back to the company and directing it back in the right direction. And the right direction is stronger top line growth. This last quarter, they grew their gross revenue by 17% year over year to $966.2 million. However, analysts were expecting them to put up $986 million, or about 19% growth. So they missed expectations by about 2%. And this most recent quarter was especially bad because not only did they miss on their top line numbers, but they also missed on their bottom line, putting up $1.10 of non-GAAP EPS compared to analyst expectations of $1.26 of EPS. But in my opinion, I'm not very concerned about these numbers because I think in the short term, we have seen a little bit of weakness around consumer sentiment, especially at the start of 2025, that has affected some of this growth. For their total payment volume, it only grew by 25% year over year from 2024 to 2025. I think this should actually pick up in 2026, and that should also result in stronger top line numbers in 2026, as well as stronger bottom line numbers. And the thing is, right now, this company doesn't have to grow by a crazy amount for the stock to go up, because their forward P ratio is sitting at 11.34. Their PEG ratio, according to Yahoo Finance, is sitting at a 0.34. I'm calculating this, at least based off trailing EPS growth, at about a 0.77, which is still excellent, especially considering the markets where companies are growing their top lines by around 8% and their bottom lines by about 10%, which Shift4 should easily beat over the next year. And they're trading at a valuation of around 20 to 25, which is about double the current valuation for Shift4. Before we calculate some price targets, let's take a look at what analysts are expecting. For 2025, they have an EPS estimate of $5.46. For 2026, they're expecting the company to grow their earnings to $6.85. They do have a low estimate of only $4.53 and a high estimate of $10.72. And on top of that, oddly enough, they're expecting the company to grow their top line by 28% in 2025 and then 26% in 2026. These are very strong numbers, especially based off the company currently only growing by 17% year over year. The biggest takeaway by looking at these EPS estimates from analysts is that they really don't know what to expect from this company, because the $4.53 on the low end is a decline in EPS of 17% year over year. The inline number is about 25% growth year over year, and the outperform number of $10.72 is growth of 96% year over year for their bottom line. And these numbers give us a very wide range of possibilities for where the stock price could be going for four. Because on the low end, if they put up only $4.53 of EPS, maybe they continue trading at a 10 forward P ratio and the stock is valued at only $45 per share. However, on the high end, this stock, if they're growing by 96% year over year for their bottom line to $10.72 of EPS, we could see it have a valuation of 40 in terms of their forward P ratio. And that would result in a stock price of over $425 per share. So obviously, this is a very wide range of expectations. We're talking about a 10x between the low estimate and the high estimate for four right now. In my opinion, again, I think this stock should grow their top line revenue by around 15 to 20% in 2026. And I think that's probably on the low end, sitting at that 15%. If they're able to do that, they should be able to sit at EPS growth of 25 to 30%. And if they're growing that quickly, they should easily trade in line with the market, somewhere between a 20 and a 25. So my personal price target for this stock over the next year would be somewhere around $150 per share. But of course, keep in mind that I do hold shares of Shift4 in my portfolio, only in the YouTube portfolio, not in any of my personal portfolios. And right now, the YouTube portfolio is sitting at a value of just under $83,000. And right now, Shift4 is my second smallest position in the portfolio. I hold 15 shares at a market value of $1,100. And this is one of only 3 positions that I'm in the red on. I'm down 12% on this position. I just recently added it. If we see this drop down to around $70 per share, I could easily see myself doubling the size of this position, if not adding even more. But for now, with this being such a small position in the portfolio, it's really just a watcher position. It's one of those positions where if it ends up moving down significantly, I could easily see myself adding more to it. Again, just because I believe in the business and what they're going to do over the next year. If I didn't believe in the business, I obviously would not add to it. I would look to sell out of this position. But because I'm really just starting to get into it, if they continue to move down, I could easily again see myself doubling, maybe even tripling the size of this position, because I think there's plenty of upside right now for this company. But of course, I would love to hear your thoughts down below. Do you own any shares of Shift4? Do you believe in this business? What do you think their revenue is going to be a year from now? now, do you think they can kind of achieve that 15 to 20% mark and hold that up? Or do you think their revenue is going down over the next couple of quarters? Very interested in your thoughts, as well as drop a price target down there. Let me know in 2026, where do you think Shift4 is going to be trading at? And while you're down there, drop a like on the video and subscribe for more videos like this one. And as always, have a wonderful rest of your day.